So hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, myself Guransh and Akshit Narula from MJ Public School and our science teacher is Harshit Kaur. Today, we both would be explaining you the chapter of fun with the magnets. So let's get started with the chapter. First, basically you need to know what exactly is a magnet. Magnet are the substances which produces magnetic field which help the things to get attracted towards it, means which help the thing to push towards the magnet. Magnet produces magnetic field which is basically invisible. We cannot see the magnetic field of a magnet by produces by it. We use magnet in a day-to-day life and they are very useful. Basically, we use them in the healthcare products or lifting of heavy things. If we have to lift a heavy box which cannot be lifted by our hands, we can use of a magnet. They came in various different shapes like bar magnet, horseshoe magnet, cylindrical magnet, or a ball-ended magnet. And some artificial magnets are also made with the iron substances. So now let's move to the topic of this chapter, that is magnetic and non-magnetic materials. First, magnetic materials are the materials which get attracted towards a magnet. Means the material or an object which get pushed towards the magnet is known as magnetic materials. Example, iron, nickel. The materials which do not get attracted towards a magnet is known as non-magnetic material. Example, wood or a plastic. The material which do not get pushed towards the magnet or gets attracted towards it is known as non-magnetic material. Example, a wood or a paper. A wood or a plastic never gets attracted towards a magnet. Now let's begin with the third topic of this chapter, that is poles of a magnet. A magnet may be differ in shapes or sizes, but one thing is common in every magnet you found, that is, it has two poles. It has two signs on a magnet. One is the N1 and one is the S1. These N and S are two poles of a magnet, where N stands for North Pole and S stands for South Pole. These two poles are really important in the magnet to be there. In a bar magnet, these two poles are located to the end of the magnet. These two poles are eventually linked to each other, and it is said that if a magnet is broken into 1,000 pieces, then also this North Pole and South Pole would be there in a magnet. And these North Pole and South Pole always exist in pairs. It's important that both North and South Pole should be present in a magnet. If only one pole would be present, then the magnet may not function smoothly. It is said that these two poles only have the power to attract things towards them. Now let's perform an activity to be more clear with the topic of poles of magnet and understand how important these poles are important for a magnet. Now take a bar magnet or any magnet of your choice and put that magnet in iron fillings, and after some time you will observe that the iron fillings would be stuck towards the end of a end of the bar magnet where the North Pole and South Pole are located, and you will observe that in the middle the iron fillings would be not stuck. Because the North Pole and South Pole means the poles of a magnet only have power to attract things towards them. You can take any example of any magnet. If it is a horseshoe magnet, then also where the poles of a magnet are located, there only the iron fillings would be stuck. And these North and South poles always exist in a magnet, and basically they are only source to attract things towards them. Now this was the topic of the poles of magnet. Now I hope that you have understand that there are two signs in magnet that are present, N and S. These two are poles of a magnet, N known as North Pole and S known as South Pole. Basically these two only have the powers to attract things towards them, and they are both incomplete without each other, and they are really important if you want to attract any things towards them. And with the activity, I hope that you have cleared that how they attract the things towards them and put the things towards them. So now my friend Akshit would be explaining you the rest of the topic.
Alright. So, by now you have learned three topics which were explained by Granch. So, now I'm going to explain the rest of the three one by one. The fourth topic in our list is finding directions. Now, you can use a magnet to find directions. So, all you need to do is to take a bar magnet and put a mark on one of its ends for identification. Now, tie a thread at the middle of the magnet so that you may suspend it from a wooden stand. Make sure that the magnet can rotate freely. Let it come to a rest and mark 2 points on the ground to show position of the ends of the magnet when it comes to rest. So the position in which comes to rest, in that position the magnet is pointing towards the north and south direction, and with that info you can easily find out the east and west directions, as we know that east is at the right and west is at the left. So this is the way how you can find directions using a magnet. So now I'm going to explain how you can find directions with a compass. A device which was developed based on property of magnets for finding directions is known as a compass. A compass is usually a small box with a glass cover on it, a magnetized needle which is pivoted inside the box which can rotate freely. So you might have read about this in your book, but I'm going to tell you how you can find directions with it. So the compass has a needle inside and also a dial. The needle always points at the north south direction. So again you can find out directions, but for finding other directions you just have to move the dial with your hand. The needle never moves away from the north south direction. So I hope you get the topic of finding directions, and yeah, let's move on to the next topic. Okay, the next topic we have is making our own magnet. So it is very simple and it will not take more than 10 minutes. So all you've got to do is take a bar magnet and then rub it on a piece of iron, a soft piece of iron, in the same way I'm showing you on the screen. So repeat this 30 to 40 times, and the piece of iron on which you were rubbing will become a sort of temporary magnet. So let's move on to the next topic, and as you know that this topic was quite simple. The last but not the least topic we have is attraction and repulsion. So for this activity you need two magnets. I am taking bar magnets. So keep them a bit close to each other and you will notice something, that if the poles of both the magnets are opposite, which means north and south or south and north, then the magnets will attract each other. But whereas if the poles are similar, which means north north and south south, I hope you get the idea, which means north and north with south and south, then all the magnets will repel each other. So it is quite simple, but we have something to finish this chapter off, which is caution with magnets. So, a few cautions to keep in mind are: magnets lose their properties if they are heated, hammered, or dropped from some height. Also, magnets become weak if they are not stored properly. To keep them safe, bar magnets should be kept in pairs with their unlike poles on the same side. They must be separated by a piece of wood, while two pieces of soft iron should be placed across their ends. For horseshoe magnet, one should keep a piece of iron across the poles. Keep magnets away from the cassettes, mobiles, television, music system, and the computer, because these things can have magnets inside them and basically they can just damage it. So this is Akshit, and thank you for watching our video. We really hope that you understood this chapter, and we'll catch you in the next one.